Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Making headlines this morning, local schools adjust to a new order allowing Bexar County and San Antonio to impose mask mandates.
Plus, following the resignation of New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, the state is now announcing its first female governor.
And back here at home outside with live cam, it's still very, very humid. Not much of a cool down overnight at all. How hot will it be today? Mike is coming up. Good morning. We've made it to midweek. It is Wednesday. It is August 11th.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for joining us. And this morning feels a lot more humid than it did yesterday evening, even.
Yeah, and between glasses and a mask, I feel like I've been snow skiing in the London fog, walking into our building every morning.
That's kind of a good description. Yes, it is that fog up your glasses kind of thing when you go from the air conditioning outside. It's going to be pretty much identical to yesterday. We'll be mid-90s. We're going to have heat index readings well up into the hundreds, plenty of sunshine, a little bit of a breeze. Breeze helped out somewhat yesterday, took somewhat the edge off. 77 right now in town, 78 Stinson, and we're actually down a couple of degrees compared to this time yesterday. We were hanging about 79 most of the morning yesterday, and there is a little bit of a heat index, 81 Canyon Lake, so that's down ever so slightly compared to this time yesterday. Mold is still on the high side, low amounts of pigweed and fall elm, and once again, it is a CPS peak energy day. If you can, between 2 and 7, lower your energy usage. Hopefully that can hopefully it can help out your electric bill when time comes. These are times of year when you get that electric bill and it's just like, whoa, Nelly. 76 degrees this morning, warm, humid, and later on today, 96. We hit 96 again yesterday. 1 degree shy of the normal high, so we're still staying splitting hairs ever so slightly below normal. Same thing today, same thing tomorrow. Then we have that small chance for some rain coming in here for the week. Don't get really excited about it, but at least there's that chance for a couple of showers out there. More on that coming up in just a couple of minutes. Steph, Mark?
Thank you, Mike. This morning, a temporary restraining order is allowing Bexar County and San Antonio to impose mask mandates at public schools and government buildings. The order, granted by a district judge, will last until Monday, when a hearing to set a trial date might be granted. The County Health Authority Health Directive calls for universal indoor masking for students over 2 years old and staff and visitors at K through 12 public schools, regardless of vaccination status. It also requires schools to notify parents if their child was in close contact with a COVID positive person. Unvaccinated people who were in close contact will also need to quarantine for 14 days. Local leaders say the move comes in response to the quickly spreading Delta variant, which has a positivity rate at 21.4%.
It has been the game changer. We're seeing breakthrough infections across the country, and so we just want to make sure that out of an abundance of caution, making sure that we can protect parents, we can protect students, we can protect employees, including teachers. So that's why we're really talking about what we're seeing now.
The governor's office responded by saying Governor Abbott's resolve to protect the rights and freedoms of all Texans has not wavered. There have been dozens of legal challenges to the governor's executive orders, all of which have been upheld. In the end, we expect a similar outcome when the San Antonio trial court's decision is reviewed by the appellate courts, end quote.
Along with a rising positivity rate, Bexar County is still experiencing a rise in cases. It is up to more than 1,300 cases a day, according to the 7-day average. 1,242 COVID-19 patients are now being treated. 314 of those patients are in the ICU and 193 are on ventilators.
This morning, San Antonio police say a man is dead after he was hit by a pickup truck while crossing a southwest side street last night. Officials said the accident happened near Millwood Avenue at South Zarzamora just after 9 p.m. Police say the 55-year-old man was crossing the street with a grocery cart to get to a convenience store. Officers say a red pickup truck was behind a silver car when the car swerved to avoid hitting the man walking across the street. SAPD says the driver of the red pickup did not see the man and hit him. The man died at the scene. Police say both drivers stopped to try to help, and no charges are expected for the driver who hit the man.
New overnight, Senate Democrats in Washington have approved a $3.5 trillion budget resolution early this morning. It sets the stage for the party to try to pass a sweeping economic package expanding the social safety net that President Joe Biden has made a signature agenda item. The vote was 50-49 and the measure passed after a lengthy series of amendment votes. The Democratic-controlled House must next take up and pass the budget resolution. Majority Leader Steny Hoyer sent a letter to colleagues Tuesday saying the chamber planned to return the week of August 23rd to consider the budget resolution.
This morning, there's new reaction to the resignation of New York Governor Andrew Cuomo.
Many of the women accusing him of sexual harassment are slamming the governor, claiming he's playing the victim. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has the latest.
This morning, new fallout in the wake of Governor Andrew Cuomo's upcoming resignation.
The best way I can help now is if I step aside.
Cuomo announcing he will step down in the wake of the state attorney general's report outlining the governor's alleged harassment of 11 women.
My sense of humor can be insensitive and off-putting. I do hug and kiss people casually, women and men. I have done it all my life.
Before announcing he will resign, the governor spent 8 minutes defending his behavior, denying the accusations, and blasting the report as politically motivated. He also had this message to his daughters.
I want them to know from the bottom of my heart that I never did and I never would intentionally disrespect a woman.
Cuomo's critics and accusers calling foul.
He looked me in the eye, grabbed my arm, and pulled me toward him and kissed me on the cheek.
Cuomo will be the third consecutive New York governor to step down. His predecessor, David Paterson, dropped his re-election bid when he was accused of misconduct, and Eliot Spitzer resigned during a sex scandal. Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul will now become the state's first female governor. While Cuomo's resignation may help him avoid impeachment, the soon-to-be ex-governor is not in the clear just yet. At least 5 district attorneys across New York are investigating his alleged behavior, and Cuomo could face potential misdemeanor charges stemming from a criminal complaint filed by his former executive assistant. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
Mexican officials are welcoming U.S. officials in Mexico City. White House Security Advisor Jake Sullivan is among those holding discussions with Mexico's foreign minister about the possible reopening of the border for non-essential travel. On Monday, Vice President Kamala Harris told Mexico's president that the U.S. will donate millions of COVID-19 vaccines to their country. The vaccines are expected to arrive in Mexico before the end of the month.
Also new overnight, Afghan officials say 3 more provincial capitals have fallen to the Taliban, putting 9 out of the country's 34 into the hands of insurgents. A Taliban advance comes as President Biden has ordered all U.S. forces out of the country by the end of the month. In a statement, President Biden says Afghans need to, quote unquote, fight for themselves and that he does not regret the decision to bring troops home. He also says the U.S. will keep the commitments it made to providing close air support in the country.
And time now is 4:38 and it's about 77 degrees right now.
If you're short on cash and considering one of those payday loans, we have some alternatives that can save you some money in the long run.
And we're going to check on the San Antonio Spurs in Summer League play. That's next in Morning Sports.
And outside with live cam, Mike has a cool KSAT Connect pick coming up. We're talking about heat. And it sounds like we've got some activity in the tropics that bears watching. We'll talk to him coming up a little later in the newscast. Welcome back. Time for a look at sports. The Admiral David Robinson himself checking out the young San Antonio Spurs last night in Summer League play, but they'd be without first-rounder Josh Primo, sent out due to a coach's decision against the Bulls. Last year's first-round pick Devin Vassell knocked down a jumper to give the Spurs an early lead before he left the game in the second quarter. Apparently had some tightness in his right hamstring. Trey Jones helped the Silver and Black to build a 22-point lead in the first half. That lead faded in the second. Spurs were down 4 with a minute and a half to play. Malik Newman tries to give the Spurs some new life with a corner 3, but the Spurs could not close the deal down the stretch, and they fall 92-89. Now to Missions baseball. Terrible night last night for our team. They were hosting the Midland Rockhounds at Wolf Stadium. San Antonio suffered its 7th shutout loss of the season. Missions allowed Rockhounds to score 15 runs on 21 hits while collecting just 3 of their own. The Rockhounds win 15-0. Missions will try again tonight. The game is set for 7:05 out at Nelson Wolf Stadium.
Ouch.
That one hurts.
I think so. A little bit. 0. Wow. Time now, 4:42 and about 77 degrees.
Payday loans can sometimes help you get out of a bind fast. But up next, the financial alternatives you might want to consider before you sign on the dotted line.
Also next, a popular Hollywood actress has announced she is suffering from multiple sclerosis. And welcome back. It's 4:45. Actress Christina Applegate has revealed she is suffering from multiple sclerosis. ABC's Eva Pilgrim has the details in today's GMA First Look.
In this morning's GMA First Look, an outpouring of support for Christina Applegate. On Tuesday, the actress, who's been a fixture on television for nearly 35 years, from Married with Children to Dead to Me.
It's like if Jeff got hit by a car and died.
Announcing the news on Twitter Tuesday, writing, "A few months ago, I was diagnosed with MS. It's been a strange journey, but I have been so supported by the people that I know who also have this condition. It's been a tough road." Multiple sclerosis, or MS, is an autoimmune disease that affects the central nervous system. More than 1 million Americans have the disease. Symptoms include vision problems, dizziness, numbness, and weakness. Coming up at 7 a.m., we'll talk live to Dr. Jennifer Ashton about the warning signs, symptoms, and new treatments for MS, and why women are at greater risk for the disease. With your GMA First Look, I'm Eva Pilgrim, ABC News, New York.
Payday loans. If you're struggling to pay your bills, you might be considering one.
But there are alternatives to these risky loans. 12 on your side's Marilyn Morris shows us where to look.
Missy Juliet was having trouble paying her rent and overdue utility bills. As a last resort, she turned to payday lenders.
I had maxed out my credit cards and I'd already asked my family for help in the past, so I couldn't go to them again. I was embarrassed.
Missy borrowed $730 in 2 separate loans. One had a whopping 266% interest rate, and she struggled to pay them back. For millions like Missy who need emergency money fast, payday lenders are one of the few options out there, but that could soon be changing.
The pandemic really exacerbated the problems with payday lenders, especially in low-income and Black communities. So what we've seen is this push to bring better and fairer banking services to these communities.
What can you do now if you need emergency money fast? Look for a community development financial institution.
CDFIs are financial service providers like banks or credit unions whose mission is to bring financial services to low-income communities, places that many traditional banks have largely excluded.
Joining a CDFI can be affordable, offering bank services at no or low cost with an initial deposit of as small as $25. Another avenue, find a nonprofit with a payment relief program. That's what Missy did, getting help from Exodus Lending, a nonprofit that helps people get out of payday loan debt. The consolidated loans for her had no fee and 0% interest.
So instead of $50 to $200 in fees a month, I'm making an interest-free $80 payment a month for a year, and that helped so much.
Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
Well, back here at home, time to talk midweek weather with Mike Osterhage. Mike, I can't remember which day it was this week, but I mentioned that I thought for some reason the cicadas had stopped chirping.
It seems like it now.
I think I zoned out. They were back yesterday.
Oh,
Maybe they were on vacation.
Let's take a little break there.
They took a vacation with you, Mark.
I guess so, but
maybe it was that heat that got to them or something.
I don't know what I was thinking, but yeah, they were loud as heck yesterday.
I don't know. I just was
maybe
avoid the heat, so
yeah.
I didn't even listen to cicadas, but beautiful view of the crescent moon, the waxing crescent, and also if you're especially out in the hill country or away from city lights, Perseid meteor shower is peaking right now through Friday, and the best time to see it is just about now in the early morning hours. Look up to the northeast, and estimate about 60 meteors per hour. So you got to be patient with those, but but again, you got to really get out of town and get a better view of that before the morning clouds come in as well. But yeah, great picture of the crescent moon. Thank you very much for that. And yeah, there's our morning clouds. So not any good meteor viewing weather right now, but everything is dry. 78 degrees. We're down a notch. 77 is the actual air temperature, but the heat index is at 78 as of right now. Although we were right around 81, 83, 84 yesterday at this time around the area. So yeah, it's not quite as hit you in the face when you walk outside this morning. As far as yesterday, we did not really have any clouds in the afternoon, and we got a few of these sea breeze showers that are popping up there along the coast. That's something that can't be ruled out today. We'll have, one or two of those out there, and that's actually going to be the situation the next couple of days as well, which computer models do indicate some of those sea breeze showers. Otherwise, plenty of sunshine, morning clouds, and then afternoon sunshine. Same thing tomorrow. There's one or two of those sea breeze showers out there. Friday, perhaps a little bit better chance for a shower or two in the afternoon. One or two of those trying to scooch on in here, and then actually going into the weekend as well. All right, the tropics yesterday at this time, we were talking about how it had a good potential of becoming a tropical storm. This disturbance out here in the Caribbean, and it did indeed become a tropical storm yesterday afternoon. Fred, very weak, 40-mile-per-hour sustained winds as of right now. It's moving right across the Greater Antilles right now, Hispaniola, and then right along Cuba and the Keys of Florida, and then it's going to be heading into the eastern Gulf of Mexico. It's not going to have any direct impact on us, obviously, and then that's just going to be moving up into the Tennessee Valley as we go into the first part of next week. Although, as we go into the weekend, we do have, like I said, that little bit better chance for a couple of showers around here. 90 today at noon. Partly cloudy skies, and then a lot more sunshine later on today. Nice breeze once again, but it's that hot wind. But at least it helps somewhat. Heat index readings will once again be in the low hundreds, and we'll do it all over again. So yesterday, today, tomorrow, pretty much identical. And then knock a degree or two off temperatures going into Friday and Saturday. Don't get really excited about the rain chances, 30% at best right now by Sunday, Monday. At least though there is that small chance for a couple of showers out there, and low temperature is going to be staying in the mid 70s, but still, again, splitting hairs by a degree, not a normal high temperature.
We'll
which
take
is still
it.
97 right now.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike.
452, about 77 degrees.
Up next, Kit Harington sheds his Game of Thrones Jon Snow image for something more romantic.
Here are your lottery numbers. Pick 3 numbers, 663, Fireball 1. Your daily 4 number, 0188, Fireball 3.
Cash 5, 9, 13, 16, 26, 28. And your Mega Millions, 29, 45, 50, 59, 62, Mega Ball 12, Mega Player 2. Good luck.
It was a big night for The Bachelorette, plus a new role for popular Game of Thrones star.
For the latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Jason Nathanson.
The Bachelorette is over, and now things get real. Katie Thurston and Blake Moynes got engaged on Monday night's season finale, and when I caught up with the happy couple, they told me they're excited to do all the couple stuff they haven't been able to do yet.
Go get coffee, go on a road trip together, meet the family, meet the friends, the pets, So it sounds weird, but that is our version of our vacation coming up.
And she says Dancing with the Stars, not in her future, but we've heard that before. Out today, Kit Harington sheds his Game of Thrones Jon Snow image for something more romantic in the anthology series Modern Love. And he says the fact that it wasn't dark was the reason he wanted to do it.
You don't get to spend 8 years being the most serious, grumpy human being on the planet without wanting to go and do something a bit lighter afterwards.
Season 2 of Modern Love out Friday on Amazon Prime Video. Yes, that's Beyonce on the cover of Harper's Bazaar, making some news. She's working on her 7th studio album, has been for a year and a half. Her last one came 5 years ago in the form of the multiple Grammy winner Lemonade.
They don't love you like I love you.
No word, though, yet when the new stuff will drop. And happy birthday, Viola Davis, the Oscar, Emmy, and Tony-winning actress, is 56 today, while Thor star Chris Hemsworth is 38. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Los Angeles.
456, about 77 degrees.
And still ahead, the latest on the executive order by the Bexar County judge that is putting mask mandates into effect for San Antonio area schools.
Samsung is doubling down on that foldable phone trend. We'll tell you about a new slew of products set to debut today.
And taking a look outside with TransSky, looks like there's construction there at 151 at Loop 410. We'll be checking in with Stephen Cavazos after the break.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
It's back to school for students here in Boerne this morning. Learn how the school district is planning to move forward with the use of technology as we navigate through the pandemic. Details coming up next.
Well, it took a while, but it's finally here, folks. The dog days of summer have arrived. We've only dropped down to 77 degrees after another very warm day here in South Texas. Good morning. We made it to midweek. It's Wednesday, August 11th.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us. So yesterday it got hot in the afternoon, but you know, when I'm supposed to be getting ready to go to bed, that's when it's getting nice outside.
Yeah, I stepped out just as the moon was following the sun and chasing it down over the horizon. Mike Oster, it was beautiful last night.
Yeah, we've got this crescent moon out there. Full moon is coming up on the 22nd, I believe it is. And we've got clear skies throughout most of the evening. Then we get these morning clouds moving on in here. So if you're out away from the city, you may be able to see the Perseid meteor shower in the early morning hours looking up to the northeast. If we have, again, if you catch it before the clouds start to work their way on in here. 77 right now. Look at that bottom number. Dew point, though, is at 75. That is the walk outside and glasses fog up kind of a number. And 96 again, like yesterday. Same thing tomorrow. Yeah, it is pretty much dog days, but that is still 1 degree shy of the normal high temperature. We've only hit normal high and 97 one time that's the hottest, and that was back on the 1st of August. The aquifer dropped down 0.7 of a foot yesterday, and allergens. Mold is on the high side, little bits of pigweed and fall elm out there. And if you take a look at the outlook for today, CPS Energy once again asks you to kind of lower your energy demand if at all possible from 2 to 7 o'clock in the afternoon. Hopefully you can help out and save a little bit of money on the air conditioning bill, because boy, those air conditioners are just working overtime these days. And mostly cloudy skies this morning, of course, on the humid side. Then later on today, mostly sunny, breezy. Heat index readings well up into the low hundreds like yesterday, and tomorrow sunny and hot. Then going into the weekend, we shave a couple of degrees off temperatures and a few showers scattered about the area. Not a whole lot, but at least there will be 1 or 2 of them out there. So that's something that some folks can look forward to. Other than sea breeze showers the next couple of days as well right there along the coastal plain. More on the weekend forecast coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Stephen Cavazos. I see some flashing lights on TransGuide. What's going on, sir?
Hey, thanks, Mike. Good morning. Yeah, we have these flashing lights here at 35 Engle Road. You can see not a good sign if we're heading out the door in the next few moments. Still trying to figure out exactly what's going on out in that location, but our friends at TransGuide have reported a crash out in that area. So this is out toward New Braunfels, as you can see in the southbound lanes of 35 at Engle Road again. Right now, very early on to where we're not seeing any delays with traffic or slowdowns, but we're watching that closely. A few more crashes, a second crash, I should say, reported right here off Loop 1604 westbound on the frontage road lane right at Tradesman. Now, this crash may have possibly cleared. I just checked the TransGuide shot, so it doesn't look like there's anything out there right now, but do use caution driving out there this morning if you're going to be coming out in the San Antonio area. Right now, the inbound times are still looking pretty good. Coming in from Boerne and I-10, 25 minutes right now. 281, we're looking at 25 minutes from Bulverde and about 26 minutes, I should say, coming in from 35 and New Braunfels. But taking one last look here at 35, we're watching this closely, and we'll see how that does impact that morning drive, and more construction to be on the lookout coming up later this morning on GMSA. Mark, Stephanie.
Thank you, Stephen. We begin our team coverage this morning. A Bexar County judge granted the city and Bexar County's request for a temporary restraining order against Governor Greg Abbott's executive order banning mask mandates in schools yesterday.
And shortly after, Bexar County Judge Nelson Wolf issued an executive order on Tuesday in an effort to mitigate the spread of COVID-19 in Bexar County. Sarah Costa is live downtown to break down these mandates. And Sarah, have they gone into effect?
Good morning, Mark and Stephanie. Yes, that county order went into effect at midnight, requiring anyone who is 10 years or older they must wear masks inside all county buildings and facilities, regardless if you are vaccinated or not, unless you have a disability that prevents you from wearing one. Every person 10 or older in Bexar County is encouraged by local health officials to wear a mask over the nose and mouth when inside a commercial entity, building, space open to the public, or outdoor public spaces. All businesses in Bexar County providing goods and services must continue to post a health and safety policy that they developed and are encouraged to require face masks for customers and employees. After that Bexar County executive order was made, Metro Health The city issued a health directive mandating masks in Bexar County, schools going into effect immediately. This after a judge granted San Antonio and the county a temporary restraining order against Governor Greg Abbott's executive order, which banned mask mandates in schools. Mayor Ron Nirenberg discussed the severity of COVID-19 in our area, saying the positivity rate is currently at 21.4%. He said the positivity rate was at 24.2% during last year's surge in July. Now, some of those schools included in that countywide mask mandate are in Boerne ISD, which is starting school today, and that is where we find our Jonathan Cotto live this morning. Jonathan.
Thank you, Sarah. That's right. I'm located within the Boerne School District. And if one thing is for sure, the shift to remote learning would not have been possible without the use of laptops and Wi-Fi hotspots for students and teachers alike. And we're talking specifically about Chromebooks. The Boerne Independent School District is planning to provide continual access to students here in the school district. The Boerne Independent School District says if there's one thing they've learned from challenges the pandemic has brought on is the remote access to technology is paramount to providing students a continued and undisrupted education. Boerne ISD's Director of Communications tells us they have purchased over 6,000 Chromebooks. That's a purchase of over $1 million. And every student and teacher who needs one will get one.
So that way students can do work from anywhere, because this day and age, it's not just about learning inside the classroom. Students might need Wi-Fi or hotspots to go learn outdoors, to go on a field trip where they need their Chromebooks to take notes. So learning about that technology and having it to use readily in the district is so important.
Bedway says one of the challenges early on in the pandemic was identifying which students needed the Chromebooks and which students need to learn how to use the Chromebooks. He says they have since placed safeguards on the Chromebooks to ensure they are used the most positive and effective way. Reporting from Boerne, Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. Parents may continue to have some questions as more children head back to school. A pediatrician, teacher, and child psychologist can help answer those questions during tonight's Back to School Town Hall. The KSAT community event will be live streamed on KSAT.com at 7 p.m. and will center around middle and high school students.
Today is a big day for Texas House Democrats who continue to break quorum during the second special legislative session. Thanks to a ruling by the Texas Supreme Court, the House Speaker has signed civil arrest warrants for 52 House Democrats, and those warrants are expected to be delivered to the Sergeant-at-Arms later this morning. State District Judge prevented quorum-breaking Democrats from being arrested while in Texas, but now the ruling from the state's High Court temporarily reverses that decision, allowing for those arrests if those lawmakers return to Texas. The break in the quorum means the controversial election bill cannot be passed, along with several other agenda items. Democrats say the election bill would add restrictions for some Texas voters.
And time now is 5:08 and about 77 degrees out there.
Still ahead on GMSA, Amazon promising big bucks in response to damages caused by defective products sold by third-party sellers.
Also next, the latest on the coronavirus from the CDC, which now projects there could soon be as many as 33,000 COVID patients admitted to hospitals every day.
Outside with live cam. Very warm start to our day. We've only dropped down to about 77 degrees. You see all that humidity kind of hanging in the air. What will the rest of our Wednesday be like? We'll check in with Mike coming up right here on KSAT 12. Just about 5:12 this morning, there are developments in the race to vaccinate against the fast-moving Delta variant. The U.S. is now reporting roughly 8,300 new COVID patients hospitalized every day.
The latest forecast showing that number possibly quadrupling by Labor Day. ABC's Dan Lieberman has a report.
I feel like masks should be mandated in the schools because the kids are catching it as quick and as rapidly as adults.
This Florida mother speaking from personal experience. Her 7-year-old son, Bryce, was supposed to be starting second grade this week. Instead, he was rushed to the ER, now in isolation with COVID.
We have elementary kids who are not eligible for the vaccination coming into our classrooms, possibly exposing us to COVID. We're in a national, and may I add, deadly pandemic, and the governor is playing politics.
The Delta surge in Florida keeps getting worse, with nearly 1,200 more hospitalizations, the state leading the nation with hospitalized children. Across the U.S., hospitals reporting pediatric cases that are severe.
Something we've never seen before is pediatric intensive care units getting overwhelmed, and that's really frightening.
While Florida's governor continues to threaten school districts, even teachers pay for those who oppose his ban on mask mandates, the White House now looking into using federal dollars to pay a portion of those teachers' salaries. And in Texas, local leaders continue to reject Governor Greg Abbott's ban on mask mandates, as 3 regions of the state now report having no ICU beds at all. One Houston ICU nurse says her staff is being pushed to a breaking point.
I feel like we've lost this fight. There's trauma, there's anger, there's frustration. They're putting their lives on the line to fight COVID. What is everybody else doing?
Dan Lieberman, ABC News, New York.
Time now is 5:13 and it's about 77 degrees out there.
Still ahead on GMSA, TikTok celebrating a milestone as one of the top downloaded apps of 2020.
Plus, Samsung is set to show off a new set of foldable phones.
With SimpliSafe's Video Doorbell Pro, you'll know if the person at your door is friend or foe. Or just a late-night cheese pizza with extra meatballs. With my smart lock, I can let him in. Entrez-vous. And I can lock up from right here. Same time tomorrow. So take it from an expert. Get SimpliSafe and protect home like a pro.
Visit simplysafe.com for a limited time offer.
Fur, you won't faze me. Unlike Zyrtec, Allegra won't make me drowsy.
Allegra starts working 2 times faster than Claritin. So trees, you won't take me down. When allergies attack, take Allegra.
Before your symptoms take over you.
Live your greatness.
It's bountiful, grain-free. It's so healthy. Farm-raised chicken. It's good chicken. Here come the accents. Blueberries and pumpkin. Wow. And spinach. That was my favorite bite so far.
Try Beneful grain-free and our other Beneful recipes. Healthful, flavorful, Beneful.
In today's Tech Bites, the latest offerings from Samsung. The company holds its Unpacked 2021 virtual event today, featuring foldable devices like the Galaxy Z Fold, which expands outward from a phone into a tablet, and the Z Flip allows users to protect the flexible display by closing the sides. Amazon will now take the blame for any defective products sold on its site, including those from third-party sellers. The company will pay customers up to $1,000 for property damage or personal injury claims. The new policy takes effect in September. And TikTok was the world's most downloaded app in 2020, dethroning Facebook Messenger. TikTok is believed to have 1 billion users worldwide, and it survived former President Trump's effort to ban it from the U.S. WhatsApp and Instagram were among the other apps in the top 5. Still trying to learn the savage dance. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
5:18.
Let's go ahead and check in with Stephen Cavazos. Still construction out there?
Well, actually, we just checked the KSAT website. It has been reported as a pretty serious crash out there, 35. This is the shot that we got here from TransGuide. You can see that we do have tons of flashing lights out in that area. Very difficult to make out exactly what that crash looks like right now. But let's go ahead and take a look at our map and see how that's impacting traffic. This crash is reported off I-35 southbound right at Schwab Road. Again, still early on, although we saw some cars out there, it's still early on where we're not seeing big delays out in that area, but be on the lookout for that crash. Again, that's 35 southbound right at Schwab Road, coming in from the New Braunfels area, so just use caution out there. We do have some construction stuff. You did point this out a little bit earlier in the show. We do have construction here at State Highway 151. There's a full closure of the westbound and eastbound lanes there, right on the frontage road of Loop 410, and they're doing some bridge work there. This has been ongoing, but should be wrapping up by August 14th. That's going to be a Saturday. It's an overnight construction, so it's 8 in the evening to 5 in the morning. But if you're an overnight or early morning commuter, that's going to be out there for a little bit longer right now. So just use some caution out there. And again, just bringing it here. We did have a stall out there at Loop 410 eastbound at Nacogdoches. Looks like our system has since cleared that. Make sure you do check those vehicles before you get out on the road this morning. But overall, it's looking pretty good so far. We'll be watching things closely.
Thank you, Stephen.
Another warm day today, well, at least in the afternoon.
Yeah, and this is what you'd expect in the middle of August, obviously, with temperatures well up into the 90s, and but we're still not quite up to the normal high temperature, the average high. Beautiful picture out there, a couple of high wispy clouds, and I had to squint and look twice. I think that's the bird that they're talking about. But very serene and beautiful evening, yes, indeed. And when that sun gets a little bit lower, it is somewhat more pleasant, obviously, you know, just before the sun starts to go down. And out there at the airport, looks like somebody's coming in for a landing this morning. Everything, well, pretty good flying weather. We've got some clouds, though, hanging around here. 96 yesterday. Once again, it is unusual to not see just a slew of triple digits, just a couple of them out there. Del Rio, Cotulla, as well as Laredo. 97 yesterday in Pleasanton, and about the same situation today. 90, mid-90s, a degree maybe below normal. Of course, then you got to factor in the humidity, so we are going to see those heat index readings getting up into the low hundreds. But once again, not anything just outrageously high for even the heat index readings. We've got some pretty dry air upstairs in the atmosphere, this darker shade of gray, some more moisture off there to the west, so we are going to have plenty of blue skies once we get rid of these morning low clouds. A lot of blue skies out there. And as far as, well, satellite picture, you can see there's the morning clouds that start to show up. There's a little bit of a gray shade right there. A couple of sea breeze showers down there along the coastal plain. Can't rule those out the next couple of days. And then around the country, what's very unusual is, look at that up there to the north. They're already starting to see some early indications of fall. That huge, huge low sweeping a front through the northern tier of the United States. Obviously, that's not going to have any impact on us whatsoever. We will see a stray, like I said, sea breeze shower along the coastal plain. Again, this is that broad brush computer model, so it's not like this is the swath of rain out there, but just that small chance for it. Same thing tomorrow. Then we get into Friday and Saturday. Slightly better shot at a stray shower or two. Again, they're going to be pretty much confined down to the southeast, but one or two of them will start to work their way further into the west, and then get into Sunday and Monday, and rain chances just tick up a little bit, only to about, say, 30%. So again, don't get your hopes too high for rain as we go into Sunday and Monday, but there will be one or two of them out there. That's going to extend into Tuesday as well, that small rain chance. So the forecast today, pretty much carbon copy of yesterday. 90 at noon, partly cloudy skies, and then high temperature today, 96. Yeah, seasonably very hot out there. Nice breeze out of the southeast, about 10-20 miles per hour, a little gusty at times, and then the heat index right in the low hundreds. Tomorrow, do it again, the cut and paste, and then Friday, take a degree or two off temperatures. We will have that small chance for a couple of showers out there, maybe a thunderstorm scattered about, especially Sunday and Monday, and then going into Tuesday. Temperatures still in the low, kind of mid-ish 90s.
Every time somebody from our weather team says we haven't hit 100 yet, people are like, don't jinx it, don't jinx it. And I understand. I don't want to hit it either.
I didn't say it.
I know.
I know.
Yeah, we'll say it tomorrow, okay?
No. we like this. We're okay without it. Thank you, Mike.
Mum's the word.
Mum's the word.
Yes. You just talked. Right now, 5:23, about 77 degrees.
And coming up next in your morning spotlight, Idris Elba set to voice a Sonic character, plus the latest on Jennifer Hudson in the upcoming Aretha Franklin film.
5:25, casting news for the sequel to Sonic the Hedgehog, plus the latest look at Jennifer Hudson as Aretha Franklin.
Here's CNN's David Daniel with the Hollywood Minute.
All right, let's get it.
Idris Elba is going from the Suicide Squad to Sonic. The actor announced on social media he'll join Sonic the Hedgehog 2 as the voice of Sonic's friend and sometimes rival, Knuckles the Echidna. Fans seem to approve, liking his tweet hundreds of thousands of times within hours. Here's your latest look at Jennifer Hudson as Aretha Franklin in Respect, featuring the Oscar-winning performer singing Franklin's classic hit, Think. The late great Queen of Soul hand-picked Hudson to play her in the film. Respect opens in theaters Friday. Switching musical gears, check out this performance of the Motorhead classic Ace of Spades on guitar and church bells. It was part of the Toren Festival in Weert, Netherlands this summer. Locals seem to enjoy, and the unique performance made Dutch national television while giving a new meaning to church music. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Well, that's something you don't see every day.
No, it's pretty cool.
Church bells. 527, about 77 degrees.
And still ahead on GMSA, we have the top 5 things you need to know about COVID right now, from the latest stats to the debate over masking in schools.
And the Delta variant's triggering changes in travel restrictions. What you need to know before booking your next trip.
Plus, get ready to try a new spiked seltzer. We're going to tell you about a new one that puts a new twist on Mountain Dew.
It's a 3D mural that's helped to give a second life to a local neighborhood. I'm Katrina Weber. I'll have that coming up in this week's If These Walls Could Talk.
Making headlines this morning, the Biden administration looking into whether the president has the ability to intervene in states prohibiting school mask mandates.
Face masks will now be required in all Bexar County facilities. Learn what schools will be affected here in Boerne Independent School District. The details coming up next.
And taking a look outside with a live cam this morning, a humid start to your day, and it's going to be a warm one for the first day of school at Boerne ISD.
And a good morning to you. It is Wednesday, August 11th.
Thanks for joining us this morning, and happy first day of school to all the kiddos, teachers, and parents who are going back today.
Let's get a first day of school forecast for the next group, and here's Mike Osterhage.
Good morning, everyone. Pretty darn hot. We're starting off on the warm side, 77 degrees out there at the airport right now. 76 is the average low temperature, so it's really nothing too extreme, but then you got a bunch of humidity. That dew point is at 75, which means yeah, it's kind of fog up the glasses when you walk outside from the air conditioning. And into the hill country, Kerrville 73, 70 Rock Springs, and Fredericksburg right now is at 72 degrees. A lot of mold out there. Pigweed, Fall Elm are both on the low side. And CPS Energy is asking if you can reduce your energy usage between 2 and 7 o'clock this afternoon going into this evening. Maybe save a couple of bucks on your electric bill as well. And throughout the day, we'll make it up to 90 at noon. Some clouds left over this morning, and plenty of sunshine later on today. 96, about what you'd expect this time of year, but yes, a very hot afternoon. Kind of breezy, southeasterly wind, 10 to 20 miles per hour, and heat index is going to be up into the low hundreds. We do have a chance for a shower or two later on in the forecast. We'll talk about that in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Stephen Cavazos, what's the latest, sir?
Hey, thanks, Mike. Still keeping an eye here at 35 at Engle Road. You can see it's very difficult to make out what's exactly going on out there because of the conditions we're looking at from this shot at TransGuide, but more flashing lights is what we can definitely see through all that mess out there, and that's because TxDOT did report a crash in that area, and as you can see, we are seeing a pretty active scene at this point. So let's go ahead and take a look at the map again. That crash reported at 35 southbound here at Schwab Road. Again, as we see those vehicles out on the roadways, it is not creating any slowdowns or delays just yet. It is still very early on in the morning where we don't see a lot of people out on the roadways, but we know that this could be a big issue if it's still reported out there a little bit later on this morning. We'll be watching it very closely. Do have a stalled vehicle to report right in this area at 35 southbound at I-35. Check those vehicles before you get on the roadways. We've been seeing a few more stalls that are popping up a little bit early on this morning. So again, check those cars before getting out on the roadways. And if you're traveling here to the downtown San Antonio area, inbound times are still looking really good right now, with 29 minutes from Seguin looking pretty green on I-10, 24 minutes from 87 in Livonia, and right now we're looking at 28 minutes coming in from Floresville. But taking one last look here at TransGuide, use some caution when you see those flashing lights. Be sure to move over and slow down for those first responders. We'll have more coming up here on GMSA. Mark, Stephanie.
Thank you, Stephen. This morning, school officials at Boerne ISD want to assure parents that students are returning to a safe and clean environment.
Jonathan Cotto joins us live now. And Jonathan, we know CDC guidelines are constantly changing. How has Boerne ISD, how are they moving forward with the changes?
Well, that's an excellent question, Stephanie. Right now, I'm located at Van Robb Elementary School, which is one of the two schools that falls within Bexar County limits, the other being Fair Oaks Ranch, that will now have to be abiding by the new Bexar County mandate to requiring their students to wear face masks. But school officials tell us that Boerne ISD was one of the few school districts that actually was able to hold in-class instruction without any interruptions throughout the school year, and they credit that to both students and teachers abiding by safety guidelines. They want to ensure that they'll be abiding by those same safety protocols moving forward. Bernie,
So at this point in time, we follow what Governor Abbott states. And at this point in time, it's masks are optional. There is no mandate. And unless we hear otherwise, that's how we go forward. And right now, we follow those guidelines from the governor.
We will be following with Ben Way later this morning. As of now, he says the safety protocols and the cleanliness standards they've been able to establish is what they will be doing moving forward this academic school year. Mark, Stephanie.
Jonathan Cota live up in Boerne. When it all comes to all the back-to-school info you need, check out KSAT.com. We have everything you need to know regarding a mask wearing, school supply discounts for teachers, even information on homeschooling. It's all available online right now at KSAT.com. Well, this morning, the Delta variant is prompting new mask mandates and mitigation measures, but showing no signs of slowing down.
CNN's Brett Conway has the top 5 things you need to know about COVID today.
The COVID-19 surge continues. Here are the top 5 things you need to know. 1. Some hospitals are struggling to keep up. In Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Arkansas, hospitalizations are more than double the national rate.
There are going to be children in my own community that are orphans.
In Florida, hospitalizations are more than triple the national rate. 2. More kids are getting COVID now. The American Academy of Pediatrics says nearly 94,000 child cases were reported between July 29th and August 5th, and CDC data shows about 200 were hospitalized every day.
The Delta variant is definitely hitting them a lot harder.
3. The battle continues over masking up in schools. Multiple states have banned school mask mandates. In Florida, schools are directed to let parents decide. But some school districts are pushing back.
I'm just not willing to risk or play Russian roulette with somebody's life.
In Texas, a judge granted one county a temporary restraining order against the governor's ban on mask mandates. 4. The Biden administration is looking into whether the president has the ability to intervene in states prohibiting school mask mandates. 5. Federal officials are working closely with private employers now to encourage vaccine mandates.
That's how we're going to get this behind us.
I'm Britt Conway reporting.
YouTube is suspending Republican Kentucky Senator Rand Paul's account for a week. The social media channel says it suspended Paul's account for posting false COVID claims. In the video, which YouTube branded as offensive, Paul says, quote, "Most of the masks you get over the counter don't work. They don't prevent infection," end quote. In a statement, YouTube says, quote, "We apply our policies consistently across the platform, regardless of speaker or political views." In response to the move, Senator Paul tweeted that the suspension was a, quote, "badge of honor."
NASA launched a rocket from Wallops Island, Virginia on Tuesday. The rocket is carrying the Cygnus spacecraft into orbit. The spacecraft is on a 2-day voyage loaded with more than 8,000 pounds of research, crew supplies, and hardware. Once it arrives tomorrow, the spacecraft will deliver the supplies and equipment to the Expedition 65 crew at the International Space Station. So Cygnus will remain attached to the station for approximately 3 months.
Right now it's 5:38, about 77 degrees.
And still ahead, need a new hard seltzer to try? We're going to tell you about a new kind of Mountain Dew and when you can get it.
And next, to look at how COVID developments might be affecting travel plans in the near future.
And taking a look outside with live cam, a humid 77 degrees and getting hot through the afternoon. But if you stay up late, that's actually not too bad in the evening. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. It's exactly 5:41. This morning we learned that Delta, American, and Southwest Airlines will not be implementing a COVID-19 vaccine mandate for employees for now. Meanwhile, the Delta variant is forcing people to rethink their international travel plans.
CNN's Mandy Gaither has a closer look at the travel dilemma for some summer travelers.
Should you stay or should you go? The Delta variant triggering changes in travel restrictions and health measures, making some travelers rethink their upcoming international trips.
There are still lots of hoops to jump through. If you're vaccinated, if you wear a mask indoors and eat outdoors,
you can manage your risk and make the best decision for yourself.
Not long after countries in Europe, the UK, and others announced reopening plans and lifted restrictions, some have had to pivot, bringing back testing requirements.
Even if you're vaccinated, you still need to take a test within 3 days of coming back to the U.S. I do know people who have had those tests delayed. God forbid you test positive abroad. Depending on the country, you may even need to go into a mandatory hotel quarantine.
On Monday, Canada reopened its borders, allowing fully vaccinated Americans in for the first time since March 2020.
Canada, they're going to be vigilant about checking those vaccines. You still have to get tested.
This comes as the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention added 16 destinations to its very high COVID-19 risk level, including Greece, Ireland, and the U.S. Virgin Islands.
It's kind of interesting because the CDC has that level 4 warning for a lot of countries that actually are handling COVID a lot better than the U.S.
Meanwhile, a victory for one of the world's largest cruise lines. A judge has ruled Norwegian Cruise Line can require passengers show proof of a COVID-19 vaccination before boarding any of its ships in Florida. The Florida governor's office says they will appeal. For Consumer Watch, I'm Mandy Gaither.
542, about 77 degrees.
Next, we're going to check in with our friends from the Animal Defense League and a new pet you might want to take home.
Well, it is puppy time, and Michelle is here from the Animal Defense League, and oh my goodness gracious, I love how the one ear is sticking up on that little baby. Who is that?
It's kind of like standard setting for her. So this is Triathlon. She is a 2-month-old Labrador mix. She's available for adoption at our Nacogdoches campus, and she's so sweet, so calm, gets along with other dogs. She's amazing. We love her.
Yeah, and with those paws, I'm sure being a lab mix, she's going to be big puppy.
Yeah, so she's going to be medium to large size for sure. We can't, 100% estimate how big she's going to be, but she won't be this small forever, unfortunately.
But still small enough to sit on your lap and right on the couch and take up all that room. So,
absolutely.
And you've got a huge fundraiser coming up here. This sounds really cool.
Yes, we do. So we have our British Rock Nights fundraiser coming up. So it is on August 20th. It is going to be a hosted event and a comedy show from John O'Hurley. He was on Seinfeld. And so all the benefits from that event will proceed the Animal Defense League and a couple other local organizations to help us save more lives.
All right, well, fantastic. And if you'd like more information about that or this little, hi, oh, you just don't know what to think with those little eyes there. Yes, just head on out to the Animal Defense League, 11300 Nacogdoches, or give them a call at 655-1481.
And Google is taking steps to make its platforms, including YouTube, more safe for children and teenagers. The tech giant says these measures include constraints of commercial content aimed at minors. Young users will also have more control over their digital footprint. On YouTube, default privacy settings will be the most private option available for those between the ages of 13 and 17. Google will also unveil a new policy that will allow people under 18 years old or their guardians to request their images be removed from the site.
Tesla is delaying production of its Cybertruck until at least next year. In a statement, the automaker said, "You will be able to complete your configuration as production nears in 2022. Elon Musk hinted at a possible delay last month. He pointed to that shortage of computer chips, battery cells, and the global supply chain challenges. Musk said Tesla is also pushing back plans for a fully electric semi-tractor-trailer vehicle.
The spiked seltzer wars continues. So the latest, boozy Mountain Dew. The PepsiCo-owned soft drink is partnering with the Boston Beer Company to make the sugar-free beverage with 5% alcohol by volume. Hard Mountain Dew will hit shelves in early next year. It will come in original, watermelon, and black cherry flavors. The spiked seltzer industry is still growing. Hard seltzer sales are up nearly 200% compared to 2019.
548.
Go ahead and check back with Stephen Cavazos, still working on the crash out there.
Yeah, we're still seeing these flashing lights out there at 35 at Ingle Road. You can see looks a little foggy out there. Not too sure. The shot at TransGuide looks like it's getting foggier by the moment there, but use some caution driving out there when you see those flashing lights. We do have a crash that is reported out there in those southbound lanes of 35. From what we're seeing, we're getting a lot more people out on the roadways, and when you see those flashing lights, I always like to remind people, and this is a good reminder, move over and slow down for those first responders. They are working to make the road safer for you and I as we get out there. But again, 35 southbound right at Schwab Road where that crash is reported. It's still early on, though, although we do see some vehicles out there not causing any delays or slowdowns at this hour. But we're watching it closely. Do have a stalled vehicle here reported off I-35 northbound at New Braunfels Avenue. Are seeing that more of these stalls that are popping up this early in the morning, and one not too far from there still reported here off I-37 southbound at 35. So check those vehicles before you hit the roadway. But overall, there's not been a lot of issues, at least here in San Antonio. Aside from that crash up at 35, which we'll continue to watch throughout the morning, it's been overall pretty quiet. So we'll keep our fingers crossed there. But 35 at Ingle Road, again, pretty difficult shot to make out here. But just use caution driving through that area, guys.
Thank you, Stephen.
Yes, thank you, Stephen. Oh, that's a pretty flower behind you.
I know. I love those orange. What a vivid color of orange. Kind of makes you think of fall, doesn't it?
A little bit. It does.
Yeah. Except when you step outside. It's warm out there. Visibility is good out there at the airport, but as Stephen was talking about, there are some hints of, it looks like a little fog, especially down there around Pleasanton. 4 miles visibility right now. Hint of it around New Braunfels and Castroville, and then more heading off to the east and down to the southeast Beeville. Just a 1.75 miles visibility right now. So just kind of be on the lookout for a few thicker spots, I should say, or patches of fog as the morning rolls on. And we've got all this moisture, which is getting pumped in here, obviously, from the Gulf of Mexico, and dew point temperatures. Now, they will drop down slightly in the afternoon, kind of that usual 24-hour cycle that we go through. Comes back up tomorrow morning, and then it'll drop down by tomorrow afternoon once again. Still enough of humidity out there to give us those heat index readings up into the hundreds. And with this fairly decent flow coming in here off the Gulf of Mexico, that's why we see some of those sea breeze showers, which is going to be a possibility today. Not many of them, a few more tomorrow. And same thing on Friday. Maybe by Friday, a couple of more of those are going to be trying to push in a little bit further to the inland, and we may see a stray shower. Again, very few and far between, but then we go in toward the latter part of the weekend, and there's going to be a few more. Not a great chance of rain, about a 30% chance of rain, but at least that shot of some showers. There is Tropical Storm Fred. Moving into the Caribbean, that's going to be working its way across Hispaniola, Cuba, and then right up along the west coast of Florida. And there's another disturbance out there in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean that the Hurricane Center is watching, although right now it only has about a 10% chance of forming into anything in the next couple of days. A little bit closer to home once again, the high is trying to dominate things right now, and that will be the case for the next couple of days. So more of a summertime pattern, although it's not really plunked down right on top of us, which is why temperatures are still being somewhat held in check, just at normal readings for the most part. Then we get into the weekend, and again, the high is breaking down a little bit. We have these disturbances coming in here around that flow, around the clockwise rotation there, so that's why we get that slight chance for some rain. There's not a tight lid on the atmosphere going into the weekend, but not any big storm systems, if you will, and that'll be the case going into Monday. And then there's that tropical system, which is going to be working its way up to the northeast and not having any direct impact on us. 90 today at noon, partly cloudy skies, high temperature, make it up to 96. Pretty much what we'd expect this time of year. Breezy, and heat index readings again up into the hundreds, and that's in the shade. You get in the sun, it's going to be a whole heck of a lot hotter than that. We'll do the same thing again tomorrow, and then Friday into the weekend, knock a degree or two off temperatures, a few more clouds, 1 or 2 showers here or there. Not a great chance of rain, but just a few of them, and that'll extend into the first part of next week.
I like those chances on the weekend, though.
Yeah, here and there. If you have outdoor plans this weekend, hopefully it's in the morning, but I wouldn't change them.
Sounds good. Thank you, Mike.
5:53, about 77 degrees.
And let's take a look at your winning lotto numbers. We have pick 3, 663, Fireball 1, Daily 4, 0188, Fireball 3.
Cash 5 numbers 9, 13, 16, 26, 28. And Mega Millions 29, 45, 50, 59, 62. Mega Ball of 12, Mega Plier 2. Good luck.
Good morning. Coming up on GMA, that alarming new forecast on COVID as the Delta variant spreads and hospitals fill up. what the CDC is now saying we could see by Labor Day. And this morning, what we're learning about possible booster shots. That plus much more coming up on GMA. We'll see you all soon.
Hey, reminder, next Tuesday, we're taking a deeper dive in all the problems associated with February's winter storm. It's a special collaboration between KSAT Explains and the KSAT 12 Defenders. We take a closer look at what really went wrong and what needs to change to prevent another local weather disaster. It airs next Tuesday right here on KSAT 12 at 9 p.m. Right now, KSAT.com, start of the school year already underway for many districts in our area. With a continuous rise in coronavirus cases, safety is on the minds of many. You can voice your thoughts in the article we're calling Classroom Confessional. Let us know what you think about the return to the classroom right now on KSAT.com. Glad you're with us on this Wednesday morning. Ahead in our next hour, GMSA, a scary scene in Tucson. New video shows crews rescuing a driver from raging floodwaters. We'll have details. San Antonio Police Crime Stoppers trying to find a wanted fugitive. You could get a cash reward if you have information about those details as well. And local schools adjusting to a new order allowing Bexar County and San Antonio to impose mask mandates. We'll tell you everything you need to know. And Stephen's back with what you need to know about your morning commute, including an update on this situation at I-35 and Ingle Road. You're watching GMSA.
A new county order mandates masks in Bexar County schools. Good morning, I'm Sarah Acosta. Coming up on GMSA, we'll break down what these mandates mean.
Learn how Boerne Independent School District is ensuring their students are up to speed on their education as they welcome students back into the classroom this morning.
And this dramatic rescue in the desert. A driver pulled from raging floodwaters in Arizona. We've got the latest.
And taking a look outside with live cam this morning, it is what it's supposed to be out there for August. It's humid, and we're at 77 for now.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Rise and shine. Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, August 11th.
Happy Wednesday. Thanks for joining us, and happy first day of school to all the folks at Boerne ISD.
That's right. Lots going on out there in the Hill Country this morning. We'll catch up with Jonathan Cotto live right now. Mike is here with more on our midweek forecast, and we wake up to a tropical storm.
Well, yeah, out in the Caribbean, it's not going to have any impact on us. After a kind of a lull in all the tropical action there for a while, that thing got going. Fred, we'll talk about that coming up in a moment. But if you are heading off to school, sure don't need a jacket this morning. That's for sure. Maybe an umbrella this afternoon just to keep the sun off you. No rain chances there, but it's going to be another hot one. And about 1 hour, 59 minutes from now, the sun is going to be coming over the horizon. No early indications of any sunrise yet. A couple of hints of fog here and there. Not bad around New Braunfels, but go up by Austin, it gets real thick. Same thing around Beeville, down to a quarter-mile visibility. And Uvalde, you've got a fair amount of fog. Gonzales at 5 miles as well. Mold is high. Pigweed, fall elm are all on the low side. And CPS Energy, once again, is asking that you can kind of reduce energy usage between 2 and 7 p.m. to help out a little bit in the peak heating of the day. Save a couple of bucks on your electric bill as well. And the rest of the morning, temperature is going to be pretty steady right now. And then we will have a decent breeze later on this afternoon out of the southeast, 10 to 20 miles per hour. We'll make it up right around 90 today at noon. A few of these leftover morning clouds, and then plenty of sunshine later on today. High temperature up to 96, although factor in the humidity. Make that feel like about 100 or more, up into the low hundreds. And of course, that's in the shade. Get out in the sun, walking across the parking lot, something like that, walking to the car after school. It's going to feel a whole lot hotter than that. Very small rain chances. Couple of days down the road. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. Speaking of the roads, traffic authority Stephen Cavazos had some problems earlier. Is that still going on?
Yeah, we can take a look at this shot at TransGuide talking about that fog, Mike. Still seeing a little bit of it out here at 35 at Ingle Road. Very difficult to make out exactly where that crash is or exactly what we're looking at, although we do see those flashing lights out there, which obviously says that our first responders are still out there on the scene working to get it cleared. But taking a look right now at the map as we continue to report this morning, that crash here off 35 southbound northbound right at Schwab Road. And it's now 6 a.m. And again, thankfully, we're not seeing any slowdowns in that area, but it is still early on. We're watching this very closely, and we'll have more updates right here on GMSA, so stay with us. But we do still have a stalled vehicle actually reported right here off the I-35 northbound at Thousand Oaks Drive. Again, those stalled vehicles seem to be the dominant issue this morning. Some are popping up, others are clearing, but make sure you check those vehicles' tires so you can get to where you need to be on time and safely. Another stall right here off I-35 northbound at New Braunfels Avenue. We told you about this a little bit earlier. Check the TxDOT website. I think that has just cleared, so thankfully that won't be an issue out there, but do be aware of those stalls right now. Our inbound times are looking really good this morning. Pleasanton, pretty pleasant with 37. We have 28 minutes right now to the downtown San Antonio area. 17 minutes coming in from 35 and Lytle. And if you're coming in from Highway 90, 18 minutes from Castroville. One last look at TransGuide 35 at Engle Road. We're watching this one very closely, and we'll have more updates, so stay with us for the very latest. Mark, Stephanie?
Thank you, Stephen. This morning, a temporary restraining order is allowing Bexar County and San Antonio to impose mask mandates at public schools and in government buildings.
The order, granted by a district judge, will last until Monday, when a hearing to set a trial date might be granted. Sarah Costa is live downtown to explain that order. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning, Mark and Stephanie. Yeah, both of those orders are already into effect. The counties went into effect at midnight, and Metro Health's went into effect yesterday. This is regardless of your vaccination status. So according to that order, the public 10 years or older is required to wear a face covering in Bexar County buildings and facilities unless they have a medical condition or disability that prevents them from wearing one. To wear a mask when entering Now, Bexar County employees are required to wear a mask when entering facilities and when it's not possible to maintain 6 feet of social distancing. However, businesses are not required to adopt anything specific, but they must post a health and safety policy where employees, customers, and visitors can receive notice of it. If someone refuses to comply to the guidelines, businesses can call authorities to remove them for refusing the policy under trespassing laws. Now, you can read more about this executive order on KSAT.com. The county health authority health directive calls for universal indoor masking for students over 2 years old and staff and visitors at K to 12 public schools, regardless of vaccination status. It also requires schools to notify parents if their child was in close contact with a COVID-19 positive person. Unvaccinated people who are in close contact will also need a quarantine for 14 days. Now, local leaders say the move comes in response to the quickly spreading Delta variant, which has a positivity rate right now of 21.4% in Bexar County. Now, 2 of those schools included in that Bexar County mask mandate are in Boerne ISD, and that's where we find our Jonathan Cotto, who is live there covering the first day of school. Good morning, Jonathan.
Good morning. Thank you, Sarah. Well, here in Boerne ISD, school officials will be tracking down those students who need some catching up by taking a look at some data they've been able to gather through testing. Now, the school principal says they're very excited to be able to open up with normal procedures today. He says they are looking forward to reestablishing those relationships with both students and their parents. Most importantly, he says they want to get those kids up to speed who may have had some lapses in their education.
Last year, we took beginning of year assessments, mid-year assessments, and now we have last year's STAR data, so that now with all of our kids returning, we can track each student using the data and individualizing instruction for each child.
Owen says this will be the fastest way to get everyone where they need to be. He says they're excited to be able to resume honor roll lunches, in-person teacher meetings, and their positive behavior celebrations. Reporting from Boerne ISD, Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
Parents may still have questions as more children head back to school. A pediatrician, teacher, and child psychologist can help answer those questions during tonight's Back to School Town Hall. The KSAT community event will be live streamed on KSAT.com at 7 p.m. and it will center around middle and high school students.
And Bexar County is still experiencing a rise in coronavirus cases, more than 1,300 cases a day, according to the 7-day average. Now, 1,242 COVID-19 patients are now hospitalized. 314 of those patients are in the ICU, and 193 are on ventilators, helping them breathe.
Looking around the country, the U.S. now reporting roughly 8,300 new COVID patients hospitalized every single day. The latest forecast showing the number possibly quadrupling by Labor Day.
This as new developments rise in the race to vaccinate against the fast-moving Delta variant. ABC's Dan Lieberman has a report.
I feel like masks should be mandated in the schools because the kids are catching it as quick and as rapidly as adults.
This Florida mother speaking from personal experience. Her 7-year-old son, Bryce, was supposed to be starting 2nd grade this week. Instead, he was rushed to the ER, now in isolation with COVID.
We have elementary kids who are not eligible for the vaccination coming into our classrooms, possibly exposing us to COVID. We're in a national, and may I add, deadly pandemic, and the governor is playing politics.
The Delta surge in Florida keeps getting worse, with nearly 1,200 more hospitalizations, the state leading the nation with hospitalized children. Across the U.S., hospitals reporting pediatric cases that are severe.
Something we've never seen before is pediatric intensive care units getting overwhelmed, and that's really frightening.
While Florida's governor continues to threaten school districts, even teachers pay for those who oppose his ban on mask mandates, the White House now looking into using federal dollars to pay a portion of those teachers' salaries. And in Texas, local leaders continue to reject Governor Greg Abbott's ban on mask mandates, as 3 regions of the state now report having no ICU beds at all. One Houston ICU nurse says her staff is being pushed to a breaking point.
I feel like we've lost this fight. There's trauma, there's anger, there's frustration. They're putting their lives on the line to fight COVID. What is everybody else doing?
Dan Lieberman, ABC News, New York.
In your other morning headlines, Afghan officials say 3 more provincial capitals have fallen to the Taliban, putting 9 out of the country's 34 in the hands of insurgents. The Taliban advance comes as President Biden has ordered all U.S. forces out of the country by the end of the month. In a statement, President Biden says Afghans need to fight for themselves and that he does not regret the decision to bring troops home. He also says the U.S. will keep the commitments it made to providing close air support in the country.
And scary moments for a driver in Tucson, Arizona, who was caught in fast-moving monsoon floodwaters. Emergency crews came to the rescue. You can see the first responders pulling the driver from a stranded pickup truck. Nobody was hurt during that incident.
10 minutes after 6, about 77 degrees.
The NBA Summer League continues, and so do the Spurs' struggles. Still ahead, we're going to have the highlights from their matchup with the Bulls in Las Vegas.
Outside with live cam as we're waking up on a Wednesday morning. The sun a little sleepy today, a little slow to rise out there, but we're waiting for it right here on GMSA. More to come. Checking in with Mike and Steven coming up live right here on GMSA. In morning sports, the Admiral David Robinson checking out the young Spurs in Summer League play last night. They would be without first-rounder Josh Primo, set out due to a coach's decision against the Bulls. Last year's first-rounder Devin Vassell knocked down a jumper to give the Spurs an early lead, but he left the game in the second quarter. Tightness in his right hamstring. Trey Jones helped the Silver and Black build a 22-point lead in the first half, but that lead faded away in the second half. Spurs were down 4 with a minute and a half to play. Malik Newman tries to give the Spurs some life with a corner 3, but the Spurs could not close the deal down the stretch. Spurs fall 92-89.
Pro football coverage powered by Davis Law Firm.
I think this is the first year. This is the first year we exchanged gifts. Who is it? What you doing, man? Actually.
Hard Knocks Cowboys training camp made its debut on HBO last night, taking us behind the scenes in Oxnard. Show caught up with Zeke Elliott attempting to wrap a present for Dak Prescott. Dak made, as you saw, an unexpected visit to the room. It's after, you may remember, Zeke was the one who pushed Dak's face right into his birthday cake. Now to Missions baseball. It was a terrible night last night for our Missions, hosting Midland at the Wolf. San Antonio suffered its 7th shutout loss of the season. Missions allowed the Rockhounds to score 15 runs on 21 hits, while collecting just 3 hits of their own. Rockhounds win it 15-0. Missions will try again tonight. The game is set for 7:05 out at Nelson Wolff Stadium. Better luck tonight. Luck tonight, guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ouch, that one hurt.
It really did.
All right, time now 6:16. Time to look at traffic with Stephen Cavazos. I know we're still having problems there at I-35.
Yeah, and I think we're finally starting to see some resolution there, Mark and Steph. 35 at Ingle Road, you can see that we do have a pretty busy scene right now. If you've been with us throughout the morning, we did have some flashing lights out there. First responders were out there working to clear the scene of a crash, and looks like they'll maybe clearing out a little bit more now because we can actually see the road and traffic is moving nice and smooth. Now, that crash was reported here off 35 southbound at Schwab Road, was there for quite a while. So thankfully, now that it looks like it has since cleared, we're not seeing any delays with traffic. So traffic is moving nice and smooth through that area, but it's been a morning of stalls. This one was still reported out here off I-10 eastbound at FM 1516 and seeing another stall right up here off 35 northbound at Thousand Oaks Drive. So as a reminder to you, if you're going to be heading out the door in the next few minutes and you experience car trouble on the highway, TxDOT does have their Highway Emergency Response Operator program that is otherwise known as HERO, and some of the services that they provide include relocating those disabled vehicles to safety, removing minor crashes from the roadways, providing traffic and lane control during crashings, and removing their debris on the roadways, I should say. But if you're in need of their assistance, you can contact 210-732-HERO. Again, you must be stranded on a highway to receive that assistance. So again, a good reminder there if you're heading out the door in the next few minutes. 35 at Ingle Road, looks like things are moving pretty smooth right now, Mike.
Thank you very much, sir. Watch out for a patch or two of fog around the area this morning, especially off to the east. We're seeing some hints of it out there. Fire up the bus, and hopefully the air conditioning working on that one. 76 degrees this morning, pretty much steady temperatures. Very warm, very humid. We have our morning clouds hanging around here, and then after school, it is going to be a sizzler. 96. A little bit of a breeze, and then, of course, the heat index is going to be well up into the low hundreds later on today. Great picture. Look at the gourds on those vines there, and boy, they're going to be just reaching peak right around fall, but I guess they love the hot weather, and it sure is a case in point with that picture. Thank you very much for that one. We're not seeing any indications of the sun coming up yet. It officially rises now at 7 o'clock in the morning, and there's the visibility. So nothing too bad around or too thick around the metropolitan area, going down 37 toward Pleasanton about 5 miles, but go up into Austin, quarter-mile visibility. Beeville's at a half mile right now, and Uvalde has dropped down a little bit down to 3 miles visibility. All right, checking out the tropics, and we were talking about the latest tropical storm, which at this time yesterday was just tropical depression number 6, and then it, as expected, became a tropical storm. 40-mile-per-hour wind, so it's not very strong at all, and it is forecast to just stay at tropical storm strength, but moving across Hispaniola and then just grazing the northern shore of Cuba, and it's going to go through the Straits of Florida and right up the west coast of Florida, and this is going to be over the weekend and then continue that sort of north to northwestward progress, and it will be picking up and then heading up into the Tennessee Valley as we go into the first part of next week. So that's not going to have any impact at all on our weather. Here's what the satellite picture looks like right now, and you can see this gray shade moving in here, and that's the some of the low clouds hanging around this morning. Up to the north, almost looks like fall up there with that big front moving through the northern tier of the United States. Don't get excited about using the word fall, though, because it's just going to stay very summery around here. We will see a small chance for some rain coming in by, well, sea breeze showers along the coastal plain. You can't rule those out really each and every day, but by the weekend, a little bit better chance for some rain. 90 today at noon, partly cloudy skies. High temperature, 96. 1 degree, still not up to the normal high, the average high of 97. We've only been up to 97 one time this season, and that was back first of the month on August 1st. Breezy today, wind out of the southeast about 10-20 miles per hour. We'll do it again, identical tomorrow, 96, starting off mid-70s in the morning, and then knock a degree or two off the temperatures going into Friday and the weekend. A couple of extra clouds hanging around here. A stray shower, thunderstorm, other than just the sea breeze variety. And Sunday, Monday, if you had to pick a couple of days with the better chance, albeit small, that'd be the better chance to see a shower. But most of us won't.
Sunday, Monday.
Yeah.
Slight chance. Got it.
All right, we'll be prepared just in case.
Okay. Or forget your umbrella and get your car washed,
that's
then it will rain.
true. Yeah, we'll do all of those things. Maybe it'll get a good shower there. Thanks, Mike.
621, about 77 degrees.
And still ahead on GMSA, Amazon's got a new defective product policy on the way. We're going to have the details.
Why hide your skin if Dupixent has your moderate to severe eczema or atopic dermatitis under control?
Hide our skin, not us.
Because Dupixent targets a root cause of eczema, it helps heal your skin from within, keeping you one step ahead of it. And for kids ages 6 and up, that means clearer skin and noticeably less itch.
Hide my skin? Not me.
By helping to control eczema with Dupixent, you can change how their skin looks and feels. And that's the kind of change you notice.
Hide my skin? Not me.
Don't use if you're allergic to Dupixent. Serious allergic reactions can occur, including anaphylaxis, which is severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems, such as eye pain or vision changes, or a parasitic infection. If you take asthma medicines, don't change or stop them without talking to your doctor. When you help heal your skin from within, you can show more with less eczema. Talk to your child's eczema specialist about Dupixent, a breakthrough eczema treatment.
In this morning's GMA First Look, an outpouring of support for Christina Applegate. On Tuesday, the actress, who's been a fixture on television for nearly 35 years, from Married with Children to Dead to Me.
It's like if Jeff got hit by a car and died.
Announcing the news on Twitter Tuesday, writing, "A few months ago, I was diagnosed with MS. It's been a strange journey, but I have been so supported by the people that I know who also have this condition. It's been a tough road." Multiple sclerosis, or MS, is an autoimmune disease that affects the central nervous system. More than 1 million Americans have the disease. Symptoms include vision problems, dizziness, numbness, and weakness. Coming up at 7 a.m., we'll talk live to Dr. Jennifer Ashton about the warning signs, symptoms, and new treatments for MS, and why women are at greater risk for the disease. With your GMA First Look, I'm Eva Pilgrim, ABC News, New York.
Amazon will now take the blame for any defective products sold on its site, including those from third-party sellers. The company will pay customers up to $1,000 for property damage or personal injury claims. The new policy takes effect in September.
TikTok was the most downloaded app in 2020, dethroning Facebook Messenger. TikTok is believed to have 1 billion users worldwide and has survived former President Trump's efforts to ban it from the U.S. due to security concerns. WhatsApp and Instagram were among the other apps in the top 5.
And time now is 6:26 and about 76 degrees out there.
Still to come on GMSA, more on that temporary restraining order allowing Bexar County and the city of San Antonio to impose mask mandates. We'll tell you what that means for your kids as they return to school.
New mask mandates in county buildings and schools in effect immediately. Good morning, I'm Sarah Acosta. Coming up on GMSA, we'll explain these mandates.
It's the first day back to school for students within the Boerne Independent School District. What school officials say are the safety protocols and guidelines moving forward. Coming up next.
Outside with live cam, the sun is slow to come up, and that may be a good thing considering how warm it has been this week. Good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday, August 11th.
Happy Wednesday. Thanks for joining us. And yeah, a little humid out there this morning. You definitely feel it when you open the door.
And Mike is on the lookout for just I think your word would be tinge of fog here or there?
Yeah, we got a couple of spots where it is a little more than just tingy. It's kind of thick going up in toward Austin. But yeah, as long as we can delay that sun as much as possible. Because
it's not really a problem, is it?
No, because, boy, once that gets up there higher in the sky, it's just, wow, it's intense this time of year. All right, visibility is pretty good looking off to the east out there, and things are starting to lighten up somewhat along the horizon. 77 right now, 2.74, plenty of humidity. Fog up your glasses when you step outside. And in and around the metropolitan area, it's pretty good. Going down 37, Pleasanton has now dropped to 3 miles visibility. And here's the pretty thick spot of fog up there at Austin. Beeville at a half mile right now and 3 miles visibility in Uvalde. So we'll keep some of this around throughout the rest of the morning. Mold is high. Pigweed, fall elm are both on the low side. CPS Energy is asking to reduce your energy use if you can between 2 and 7 o'clock. Hopefully save a little bit of money on your electric bill as well. So mostly cloudy. It is humid this morning. It is warm, although seasonally warm. 76 is the average normal low temperature. Mostly sunny, breezy. Heat index is going to be up into the low hundreds today with a high 96. And then tomorrow, sunny and hot again. Going into Friday and the weekend, a chance for a couple of showers. 1 and 2 sea breeze showers even today, tomorrow, but slightly better shot at some rain over the weekend, and low to mid 90s. So we'll shave just a couple of notches off of the high temperatures going into the weekend. All those details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority and Stephen have had some big problems earlier. Still going on?
No, and thankfully we have some resolution out there at 35 in Ingle Road, and we took our eyes off of that for just a moment so we can show you what's happening around San Antonio right now. I-10 at Vance Jackson. A few more people out on the roadways this morning. 281 at Loop 410 getting a little bit busier as we're getting the day really going now, but thankfully the issues have been just that crash reported, which was right here off I-35 southbound at Schwab Road. Our system still has that in the area, and although the shot and TransGuide does appear that it has cleared, still use caution out there because we want to make sure you get to where you need to be on time and safely. Let's go ahead and jump to some stalls still being reported right now. This one's still out here off I-10 eastbound at FM 1516, seeing the same issue throughout the morning, and one here at 35 northbound at Thousand Oaks, and we share that number with you with the Text.Hero program. Make sure to utilize them if you're experiencing any car trouble or vehicle trouble on the highway. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at these inbound times. Right now, things are looking pretty green. If you're traveling into the downtown San Antonio area, I-10 from Boerne, 25 minutes and 26 minutes from 281 and Bulverde. Right now, we are also seeing 26 minutes from 35 and New Braunfels. One last look here at TransGuide 37 and 9th Street. The morning's getting going, and we'll be keeping a close eye. Mark, Stephanie?
Thank you, Stephen. A court ruling now has public schools in Bexar County ordered to mask up starting this morning.
Bexar County Judge Nelson Wolf calling this a major victory in the fight against COVID-19 and the quickly spreading Delta variant.
Sarah Costa is live downtown to explain the mandates. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning, Mark and Stephanie. Now, there are two separate orders. There's one by the county, one by Metro Health. The Metro Health directive requires students, faculty, and visitors on Bexar County schools to wear a mask, and it's also requiring schools to report those COVID-19 infections. This is regardless of vaccine status. Now, the county order that requires all people 10 and over to mask up in all county buildings regardless of vaccine status. This order went into effect at midnight. Metro Health ordered a health directive shortly after that. Court win, it went into effect yesterday. The health directive also states rules about when one should quarantine if a person is not vaccinated and was in close contact with a COVID-19 positive person. They should quarantine for 14 days after their last exposure. Fully vaccinated people should get tested 3 to 5 days after their exposure, even if they don't have symptoms, and wear a mask in indoor public spaces for 14 days. Now, fully vaccinated individuals don't need to quarantine. This follows the CDC guidance. This can all shift come Monday when another round of schools are expected to welcome back students. You can read about these orders on KSAT.com. Now, two of those schools included in the Bexar County mask mandate are in Boerne ISD. That's where we find our Jonathan Cotto live there this morning, who is covering the first day of school. Good morning, Jonathan.
Good morning, Sarah. Thank you. Well, Boerne ISD officials here tell me that they are responsible for over 10,000 students, over 15,000 staff members, and want to let their over 20,000 parents know that safety protocols are in place in the classroom, during lunch, in the hallways, and in their after-school programs. Director of Communications Brian Benway says it was difficult at first to get everyone on board the safety guidelines and protocols issued out by the Centers for Disease Control. He says they had to take a look at students' habits and learn how they go to and from their classrooms and how they were using hand wash stations. And he says once there was a standard of deep cleaning and disinfection and an amplified attention to those safety protocols, schools this day and age have never been cleaner.
We don't do anything these days without thinking of safety. And that's where our protocols come into play. That's why our teachers, our principals, our custodians, our bus drivers, anybody that comes in contact with a student knows what we have to do for safety, and we implement those protocols and we take them extremely seriously.
Mark, Sarah, Stephanie, it's important to mention that two of those schools here within Boerne ISD fall within Bexar County and will be subject to Bexar County's face mask mandate. Of course, we'll be following up with school officials throughout the day and bringing you the latest. Reporting, Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Jonathan. Parents may still have questions as more children head back to school. A pediatrician, teacher, and child psychologist can help answer those questions during tonight's Back to School Town Hall. The KSAT community event will be streamed live on KSAT.com at 7 p.m. and that will center around middle school and high school students. When it comes to all the back to school info you need, check out KSAT.com. Everything you need to know regarding mask wearing, school supply discounts for teachers, even info on homeschooling. It's available online right now. New overnight, Senate Democrats in Washington approved a $3.5 trillion budget resolution early this morning. Now it sets the stage for the party to try to pass a sweeping economic package, expanding the social safety net that President Joe Biden has made a signature agenda item. The vote was 50-49, and the measure passed after a lengthy series of amendment votes. The Democratic-controlled House must next take up and pass the budget resolution. Majority Leader Steny Hoyer sent a letter to colleagues Tuesday saying the chamber planned to return the week of August 23rd to consider the budget resolution. Today's a big day for Texas House Democrats who continue to break quorum during the second special legislative session. The House Speaker has signed civil arrest warrants for 52 House Democrats, and those warrants are expected to be delivered to the Sergeant at Arms later this morning. A state district judge prevented quorum breaking Democrats from being arrested while in Texas, but now a ruling from the Texas Supreme Court temporarily reverses that decision, allowing for those arrests if those lawmakers return to the state. The breaking quorum means the controversial election bill can't be passed, along with several other agenda items. Democrats say the election bill would add restrictions for some Texas voters. A man is dead this morning after he was hit by a pickup truck. This happened around 9 last night near Millvid Avenue and South Zarzamora on the city's southwest side. Now, San Antonio police say the 55-year-old man was walking across South Zarzamora with a grocery cart trying to get to a convenience store. We're told a red pickup truck was behind that silver car, and when the car swerved to avoid hitting the man walking across that street, the driver of the truck did not see the man and hit him. That man died at the scene. Police say both drivers did stop to help him, and they are not expected to face any charges. This morning, San Antonio police and Crime Stoppers asking for your help finding a wanted fugitive. The man on your screen has a total of 7 active warrants out for his arrest, all totaling about $7 million. Some of those warrants are for deadly conduct, another for cutting off a GPS ankle monitor. He's 19 years old, about 5'10". If you've seen this man, your call Crime Stoppers at the number on your screen, 210-224-STOP. The Federal Emergency Management Agency will be testing its National Emergency Alert System this afternoon. According to the agency, it's just part of regular testing. FEMA says the test has been planned for more than a year, and it should happen at 1:20 p.m. The emergency alert test will be sent to televisions and radios and will last about a full minute. A wireless alert will be sent to those who have opted on their phones to receive test messages. Right now, it's just about 6:40 and 76 degrees. And here's a look at what's coming up tomorrow on GMSA.
It's a 3D mural that's helped to give a second life to a local neighborhood. I'm Katrina Weber. I'll have that coming up in this week's If These Walls Could Talk.
And welcome back. It's about 6:43. One mural north of downtown really jumps out at you, especially if you're wearing 3D glasses. What may be the city's only 3D mural sits at the entrance to the 5 Points neighborhood on Fredericksburg Road near San Pedro. As Katrina Weber found out, it's more than just artwork. It's an object of pride for some people who live in that area. It's also the subject of this week's If These Walls Could Talk.
The future may seem a bit fuzzy at first, especially when looking at this mural with the naked eye. But Elise Bernal could see right away that the neighborhood surrounding it was where she wanted to be.
When I bought the house, this was what caught my attention. I live very near here.
Here is the 5 Points neighborhood just north of downtown, and Bernal is now the vice president of the neighborhood association. She says at one point this area off Fredericksburg Road had been plagued with problems, such as vagrants and vandalism. But things started looking up right around the time this mural went up.
It's kind of a point of pride for the neighborhood. I like how it represents all of the things that are important to us as San Antonians.
The 3D telescopic images include everything from a former city leader to a spiritual icon, and a towering musician to a skybound rocket ship.
And yeah, you can't forget the taco or the chips and salsa.
All of it forms Visión del Futuro, a vision of the future. It was created in 2014 by an organization called Sananto Cultural Arts, but with input from homeowners.
You see yourself in it, but you can't help but think about the future and that the sky's the limit.
With its accompanying larger-than-life specs, the artwork also acts as a landmark. These 3D glasses really make all the difference in the world. They give that mural a whole new look. It's not unlike the impact that the mural itself has had on the neighborhood. Bernal says it's been like a facelift for 5 Points.
We're definitely working hard to get more art and more murals and installations across the neighborhood.
While viewing this one may be better with two-tone lenses, you don't need glasses to see that the future is bright. Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
What a gem. Really cool stuff, Katrina. Thank you. Taking a look here at TransGuide. Getting on your morning commute, well, things are looking good right now. US 90 at 35. Getting a little bit busier now that the day is getting going here. Still looks a little pretty dark out there at I-10 at Proband, but we do have people getting out on the roadways, getting their day started. There were a few issues out there right now. The main thing are these stalls. Still have this reported off I-35 northbound at Thousand Oaks. Not causing any slowdowns in those northbound lanes, but again, as we continue to mention, check those vehicles before you get out on the roadways. And just a reminder, construction that is going to continue to go on this week. Some bridge work and will lead to a full closure of those westbound frontage road lanes at Loop 410 at State Highway 151. We talked about this a little bit earlier in the morning and earlier in the week. It's ongoing and should be wrapping up this Saturday. That's the 14th. It's an overnight deal, so 8 in the evening to 5 in the morning. So that's something for you overnight or early morning commuters to keep on the lookout for. But one last look here at TransGuide 37 at 9th Street. Things are looking good right now, and I know Jonathan's been talking about Boerne ISD starting school today. This is my nephew, Drew Sosa. He's starting at kinder, and he's 5 years old. He wants to be an FBI agent, according to this Apple. Last week, I think it was a doctor. He's wanted, it's at that age. I'm waiting for when he says he wants to be the weatherman. But happy first day, Drew. We wish you all the best.
Yes, happy first day. Love the pic there.
Look at that smile.
I think he looks like me.
I think so,
right?
too.
Yeah.
I'd have to see it again.
I'll show you later.
I saw, yeah. I like that he wants to be an FBI agent.
Yeah.
It's very nice at 5 years old. So, yeah, a reminder to everybody else that we want to highlight your students as they head back to the classroom. And you can submit a picture with the description of your student at ksat.com/pins. And, of course, happy first day back at school. And actually, I guess happy first day of school. He's going to kinder, right?
Yeah, first day of school. And he just moved to Boerne, new school district. So new friends. And yeah, super excited for him.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, earlier I was talking about I stepped outside right at dusk last night, and that is exactly the view that I saw.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the crescent moon, the waxing crescent moon, and there is Venus. Great looking picture. And also, this is the time of year between now and really Friday, the Perseid meteor shower. Look up to the northeast, but you're going to have to head someplace out of the city lights to really see it. And it's going to be in the wee hours of the morning. So if you can catch it before the morning clouds start to work their way on in here. Again, this is really, this morning was a good day, and then tomorrow, as well as going into Friday and probably even Saturday morning. All right, it's lightened up out there, but still, as you can see, plenty of clouds hanging around. 77 right now, 78 Stinson, as well as Canyon Lake. Humidity, dew point temperatures, again, mid-upper 70s. Look at that, 78 in Castroville is the dew point temperature, which is just a steam bath out there. And so heat index right now 81 at Stinson as well as Canyon Lake. Heat index readings up into the low hundreds today, and especially off to the east and southeast. Watch it with those heat index readings kind of approaching 104, 105 or even hotter than that. Radar and satellite picture, well, nothing really on radar. There were a couple of sea breeze showers, maybe a few of them well off there, and one or two along the coastal plain can't be ruled out. Otherwise, we have our low clouds hanging around this morning. And, two different things going on in the country. Up to the north, this huge trough working its way on through here. But then for us, you can almost see the clockwise rotation of the high sort of sitting on top of us and dominating things. But it's not really pushing down all that hard as of right now. So that's why temperatures are still being held in check. We're just up to seasonable normals. One or two of those stray showers along the coastal plain the next couple of days, and then we go into the weekend, slightly better chance for rain, especially going into Sunday and Monday. better being 30%, which is not great. Again, most of us won't be seeing any rain. 90 at noon, partly cloudy skies, and then a high temperature, make it up to 96. The average normal high, hottest time of the year, is 97, so we're still not quite up to that as of yet. Heat index is going to be into the hundreds and a nice breeze today. Then we go into tomorrow, repeat of today. Friday and through the weekend, shave a degree or two off temperatures. A few extra clouds hanging around here and a stray shower or two. So not a really good chance for rain, though.
Well, at least it brings down the temperature, what, just a little bit, maybe?
Right. And 97, the highest we've hit so far this year on August 1st. And that's it so far.
Okay, not too bad.
I'm saying this with...
We won't say anything else about that.
Doesn't want to jinx it. This is where you smile through that. About 6:50 right now and 76 degrees.
And a lot of homeowners are looking at ways to freshen up their homes after spending so much time indoors this past year. That list includes painting. Tomorrow on GMSA, some things to think about when taking on a home painting project.
Let's check on your Wednesday morning sunrise. And quite a few clouds out there this morning. We're going to check back in with Stephen and wrap up GMSA after this break.
Good morning. Coming up on GMA, that alarming new forecast on COVID as the Delta variant spreads and hospitals fill up. What the CDC is now saying we could see by Labor Day. And this morning, what we're learning about possible booster shots. That plus much more coming up on GMA. We'll see you all soon.
This morning, a temporary restraining order is allowing Bexar County and San Antonio to impose mandatory mask mandates in schools and government buildings. Good morning. I'm Sarah Acosta. The order granted by a district judge will last until Monday, when a hearing to set a trial date might be granted. The County Health Authority Health Directive calls for universal indoor masking for students over 2 years old and staff and visitors at K-12 public schools, regardless of vaccine status. It also requires schools to notify parents if their child was in close contact with a COVID-19 positive person. Unvaccinated people who were in close contact will also need to quarantine for 14 days. Local leaders say the move comes in response to the quickly spreading Delta variant, which has the positivity rate of 21.4%. County Judge Nelson Wolf also made an order to require all people to wear masks inside county buildings and facilities. That went into effect at midnight. I'm Sarah Acosta, KSAT 12 News.
Now 5 minutes till.
Time to take one last look at traffic with Stephen Cavazos.
And things are looking good right now, Mark and Stephanie, as we're taking a look at TransGuide State Highway 151 at Loop 410 does show people are getting out on the road, getting a little bit brighter as the day is picking up now here at US 90 in Nogalitos. Let's go ahead and take a look, though. Have a stall reported here off US 281 northbound at St. Mary's Street. That seems to be the issue we've been seeing throughout the morning. There was a major crash off 35 that has since resolved, but these stalls are popping up. One last reminder, check those vehicles before you hit the roadways. The inbound times are looking pretty good if you're traveling into the downtown San Antonio area in the next few minutes. But Mike has your forecast and what we can expect later this morning.
Lots of clouds hanging around here, and traffic over there at 410 by the airport's moving along fairly well. Pleasanton's down to 1 mile visibility right now, 2.5 Uvalde, quarter mile at Austin. So watch out for some of the foggings in the outlying areas. 78 right now, and a lot of humidity pretty much all day long. 96, it will feel like the low hundreds, and nice breeze out of the southeast. Same thing tomorrow. Keep your fingers crossed to see a shower or two by this weekend.
Everybody's fingers crossed?
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
All right, good.
We need it.
We can make it happen. You guys have a great day, and we'll see you back here at 9.